Divorce is always tough, but when it involves a foreign national married to an American spouse, the risks and vulnerabilities multiply. Our experts today are seeing this problem more often and have identified these spouses as silent victims. With more, please welcome Seattle's Consul General of Japan, Yoichiro Yamada, and attorney Naoko Inoue Shatz from the International Families Justice Coalition. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hadn't even really thought about this. How did it come to your attention that there is a prevalence of this problem?
Well, I didn't expect that the Seattle has such a problem. I would be encountering such problems before I came to Seattle. It's a city that exudes optimism and cheerfulness and attracts all sorts of talents from all over the world. And so that was the image of Seattle until I came here, and it still remains the predominant image. But the Naoko came to me probably about 3 weeks after I came to Seattle, and we talked about several questions. And the Naoko mentioned this particular problem as being a really worrisome problem. And so that's the way how I came.
How you recognized it. Naoko, what are you seeing? What happens to these spouses?
Actually, I am a business attorney, business employment attorney, and I've been practicing for almost 20 years. But about 10 years ago, when I got together with a bunch of Japanese women, one of them just sat next to me, and then she asked me about the problems during her divorce proceeding. She didn't have any attorney, but her husband had an attorney, and she didn't have any money to retain an attorney and so forth. So she asked me to help her. But a week later, she committed suicide.
Oh my goodness.
So that prompted me to do something, and then I started taking on divorce matters, even though I'm focused on business.
Yeah, another specialty. But these spouses then have problems sometimes with language, with understanding the legal system, with resources, access to money that they should have access to, but maybe can't figure out. And they're very vulnerable, and it can be of any nationality of a foreign spouse.
Yes.
Correct? So what do you want us to know about this, and what can we do about this to help support these spouses?
They have to have equal access to justice, first of all. They don't have equal access to begin with. For example, like you mentioned, they don't have access to community property assets. Sometimes, a husband making $300,000 per year, and then they never see money in front of them. So they receive allowance, maybe 1,000, maybe 500 per month only. And so when their husband filed for divorce petition, and they don't have any money to retain an attorney. So that's the biggest problem, first of all. And then sometimes when they have children or usually spend so much time with the moms, but moms don't have money. And so, but the husband tends to take advantage of the fact that she doesn't have money. So in exchange for children's custody, and then they try to force their wives to give up on assets.
And if you don't have the resources to advocate for yourself, then you can very well become one of these silent victims.
Yes.
Is there anything that we can do, states, cities, just neighbors, to help sort of ferret out when this is happening? Because I have a feeling a lot of people just in this situation don't speak up. We don't know how vulnerable they are, and we want to be able to help.
Yes, exactly. That's the point. Those victimized women predominantly have got such a sense of shame, and they are so socially isolated that and depressed that they cannot speak up. They have kids to look after, and they have no income, etc. So it's important to extend a helping hand. Otherwise, the whole problem will degenerate into a big social problem. And this is not a Japanese problem at all. This is a problem I have, my colleagues from other countries, honorary consuls and consul generals, and many of them expressed that their nationals have got facing similar problems. So because this can be a big, has a long-term impact, negative impact on the society, we thought that it would be important from a state point of view because if nothing is done, then the homelessness would exacerbate.
Right.
It would impact the children,
Very
American
much.
children,
Yeah,
very much. And then the probably human trafficking would be another consequence.
Well, it's one of those things that really reminds you that the social fabric binds us all together, and these problems are not just individual people or individual families, but we all have a stake in solving them. Thank you very much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you
Thank you
very
for your
much.
time.
We'll be back after this quick break.